Somewhere in a lab in Shenzhen, engineers just rebuilt a piece of technology that hasn't fundamentally changed since the 1920s. Not the frame, not the hinge, the lens itself. For almost a century, protecting your eyes from the sun meant one thing: a fixed tint of colored glass or plastic, permanently dark whether you're walking into blazing noon light or stepping into a shaded doorway. Now, a new generation of Chinese smart eyewear doesn't use fixed tint at all. It uses electronically adjustable lenses that change darkness in real time, controlled by light sensors and, in some models, your own eyes. And if this technology keeps spreading the way it's spreading right now, the simple tinted lenses sitting in your glasses case might be the last pair you ever need to think about. Wearing sunglasses feels like one of those things nobody questions. You put them on when it's bright, take them off when it's not, and occasionally squint through the 10 seconds in between. But step back for a second. Sunglasses are mechanically still doing what they did in the 1920s, when mass-produced tinted lenses first became widely available, coloring glass or plastic to block a fixed percentage of light. Materials improved, polarization got added, coatings got fancier. The core idea never changed. A permanently dark lens sits between your eyes and the world, all day, regardless of whether the world actually stays that bright. For most of a century, that answer felt like the obvious limit. It's such a normal part of daily life that almost nobody stops to ask the obvious question. Does protecting your eyes from light actually require a lens that's always exactly as dark, no matter what's happening around you? Turns out, a growing number of Chinese optics and electronics companies think the answer is no, and they've spent the last few years building the technology to prove it. Here's the part that stays invisible until you actually try to fix how sunglasses work. Every traditional pair, cheap or designer, runs into the same physical limitation. The tint is baked in at manufacturing, permanent, uniform, unchangeable. Walk from bright sunlight into a shaded restaurant and the lens doesn't adjust. You do, either squinting through darkness indoors or taking the glasses off entirely, fumbling them into a pocket or onto your head every few minutes. And the fixed tint can't account for changing conditions throughout a single day. Harsh midday sun, softer late afternoon light, sudden cloud cover, driving through a tunnel. One tint level is forced to compromise across all of it, which is why most people who drive regularly end up owning multiple pairs for different conditions or just accepting the constant on-off ritual. So the protective lens still depended on old, dumb infrastructure, a single fixed darkness chosen once and never revisited. The intelligence was entirely on the wearer, constantly adjusting by hand. Engineers knew this for years. Polarized coatings alone weren't the answer, since polarization cuts glare but does nothing about the underlying problem of one static tint level. Gradient tints helped marginally in specific situations, but the fundamental limitation, no ability to actually respond to changing light, stayed exactly the same. For a long time, adjustable and durable enough for daily wear seemed like a contradiction. You could have a lens that changed, or you could have one tough enough to survive being sat on, dropped, and shoved in a bag every day. Not both. So a handful of Chinese eyewear and electronics companies, some of them already established in smart wearables, asked a different question. What if instead of fixing the tint at manufacturing, the lens itself was built to change electronically, on command, in real time? This is where it gets genuinely interesting. A Chinese smart eyewear line built around electrochromic lens technology, layers of material that shift opacity when a small electric current passes through them, uses an embedded ambient light sensor in the frame to detect surrounding brightness and adjust lens darkness automatically, dozens of times per minute if conditions keep changing. In plain terms, instead of one permanent tint, the lens contains a thin electrochromic film sandwiched between layers of glass or polycarbonate, and applying a tiny voltage shifts the arrangement of molecules inside that film, making it darker or lighter within roughly a second. Think of it like the way some car mirrors auto-dim at night to cut glare from headlights behind you, except stretched across an entire lens and reacting to the actual sunlight hitting your face, not just a single light source behind a mirror. The immediate practical result is that a single pair of glasses can function as clear indoor eyewear, light everyday sunglasses, and full dark protection against harsh glare, all without ever taking them off. The lens simply adjusts itself as you move between environments. Here's where the story stops being just smarter sunglasses and becomes something bigger. Once you build a lens that can change its own optical properties on command, you're no longer just building eyewear, you're building a small, programmable optical device sitting on someone's face. And that opens the door to things fixed tint could never do. Take Xiaomi, a company already deep into wearable and smart home electronics through its My ecosystem, which brought electrochromic lens technology into a smart glasses line that pairs with a companion app, letting wearers manually override the automatic tinting or set preferences for specific activities like driving or outdoor sports. Then there's Huawei, whose eyewear division has explored combining electrochromic lenses with basic heads-up display elements, layering navigation prompts or notification alerts onto a lens that's simultaneously managing its own darkness level based on ambient conditions. And a smaller player, Thunder Robot, better known for gaming hardware, has pushed electrochromic tech into eyewear marketed at outdoor athletes, betting that runners and cyclists moving quickly between sun and shade will value automatic adjustment more than any single fixed tint ever could. What started as "let's stop forcing one tint to handle every lighting condition" turned into an entire category of Chinese electronics and eyewear companies, several of them already dominant in other wearable tech, converging on the same overlooked accessory at almost the same time. Quick question while we're on this. Would you actually trust a lens with electronics embedded in it, sitting an inch from your eyes? Or does something about simple tinted glass still feel more reliable to you? Drop your honest answer in the comments. And if this kind of deep dive into how everyday tech quietly reinvents itself is your thing, consider subscribing. There's more of this coming. None of this means traditional sunglasses are dead yet, and it's worth being upfront about why. Price is still a real barrier. Electrochromic smart glasses currently sell for roughly $150 to $400, well above the $15 to $60 range most people spend on a solid pair of traditional sunglasses. A basic tinted pair, by comparison, remains one of the cheapest and most reliable accessories you can buy, requiring no charging and no electronics to fail. There are functional gaps too. Reviewers testing early electrochromic models have noted battery life is a genuine limitation, since powering the tint-shifting film and light sensor continuously means these glasses need charging every few days, an entirely new maintenance habit. Traditional sunglasses never required. Some models have also been flagged for a slight lag, a noticeable half-second to full-second delay between a lighting change and the lens actually adjusting, which can feel disorienting in fast-changing conditions, like driving under intermittent tree cover. There's also a dependency question. Electronics embedded that close to your face mean a cracked circuit or drained battery can leave the lens stuck at whatever tint it last held. A failure mode a simple piece of tinted plastic simply doesn't have. And it's worth saying plainly, this is still an early category. It's growing within China's domestic wearable tech market, but it hasn't come close to displacing traditional sunglasses globally yet. It's competing with it, not replacing it, at least for now. Step back, and this isn't really a story about sunglasses. It's a story about what happens when a handful of companies, several of them already experts at putting adaptive electronics into other everyday objects, turn that same expertise toward one of the simplest, most taken-for-granted accessories people own. First, it was windows that could tint themselves. Then it was car mirrors that dimmed automatically. Now it's the lens sitting directly on your face. The pattern suggests it won't stop there. A fixed tint was never really about darkness alone either. It was a stand-in for a much bigger problem. How do you build something that responds to a constantly changing environment, instead of forcing the environment to fit one static setting chosen in advance? Electrochromic film and a light sensor just solved a small, specific version of that problem an inch from your eyes. The bigger question is where else that same solution quietly shows up next. What do you think? Is a sunglass lens that changes itself in real time actually solving a real daily annoyance, Or is a simple tinted lens already good enough that this is a solution nobody asked for? Let me know in the comments. Hit like if this changed how you look at your own sunglasses, and subscribe if you want to keep following where this kind of quiet, unglamorous innovation goes next.